takers, tweakers, goons. Welcome back. Happy Friday. You didn't know I knew which day of the week it was, did you? Yeah, this is live, same day of, or I could be lying and you just wouldn't know. Welcome back to Solace. In yesterday's video, we talked about two different things actually. We talked both about we talked about communication being key and perfection including flaws. Now as far as communication goes, I feel like this should really go without saying, but you know, it's pretty pivotal that we start to add skill points into that tree because we are social creatures. So I think I could just leave that there. And as far as what the fuck is this on this jacket? Okay. And as far as the perfection having its flaws video goes, I want you to just keep in mind, and this mainly goes for perfectionists, but for most people as well, you're not always going to get it how you want it. Okay, it's not always going to be exactly how you want it, and sometimes the way you want it isn't even the best way. It's subjective perspective. So just give yourself time and patience when it comes to these things. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about momentum and building it and maintaining it. Okay. Now, if you're inconsistent or you procrastinate or you bullshit, this is definitely for you. I have participated in a little bit of all of the three, and because of that, I can give you my perspective, generalizations I've come to. One, it's a coping mechanism in a way, like you avoiding doing certain things to avoid the breaking of the monotony of your life is like a fear of breaking away from your comfort, and you need to get out of that habit pretty bad, because what it'll end up doing is it'll spiral you down like eventual lethargic moods where, because you're so caught up in the idea of pushing the object or the idea away, you're going to start pushing other things away to like fill in that space in between, if you understand what I'm saying. So say you were supposed to wash your clothes, instead of washing your clothes, you'll like go cook or something. Like you'll start doing other shit that has nothing to do with it because it feels almost as productive but not as literally productive as it would be to wash your clothes, because then you can progress. Like it's that one thing that would allow you to progress, but instead you like to keep rereading the same chapter over and over again. Now you can gain and you can master a chapter. You can gain everything you could from a chapter and master it, but you also have like another 11 you could be going through and doing the same thing with at that. And it's not to say that mastering something that you enjoy doing is bad, because obviously no, but it is more so about the way that we choose to avoid what we should be doing. That it's a really interesting thing because we're really interesting mammals, but we kind of gotta override this monkey brain we were given, because you're not supposed to let your brain drive you towards anything. Your brain is a receiver, right? And as it receives these things that come to you, you get the conscious choice as to whether or not to choose to allow which or whatever thought to facilitate your movement. With that being said, if you know you should be washing your clothes, but instead you find other things to do, like clean your room, and it's not to say these things aren't productive, but they're like smaller versions of the same thing you should be doing, right? And obviously in this scenario, like cleaning your room could be more significant than washing your clothes, depending on like how many clothes. We're not talking about that right now. But what we should be thinking about when it comes to these things is, why are we avoiding progression? You already have the answer in your head, and it's because you have a fear of growing. It's that stagnation is comfort, whether or not we enjoy it or not, subconsciously. But the body this material field we're in, it enjoys being still, not doing shit. Just as much as it enjoys being active and doing shit. But if it's given the option between the two, and it feels as though it doesn't have to do anything, our brain is a survivally based mechanism. So it's not going to be the thing that's going to direct you towards your like dreams and ambitions. It's going to drive you towards the things that keep you safe. Okay, so if you always move forward with a completely logically based mindset, it's not to say you wouldn't be able to progress, because you would, but you'd be missing out on the literal second half of what you could be using to facilitate those thoughts and like proofread them, if that makes sense. So here's a little thing I've been doing to stop myself from procrastinating or holding myself back and allowing myself to build momentum. Make a to-do list in your notes on your phone and start that to-do list and make it have it say for today, right? Put like 5 things you want to do in there for the day, and then come back to it later and add more for what you can do the following day. What you want to do is you want to continuously go through these things that are going to be pushing you in the right direction, but they're always kept in your mind so you don't forget about them by stacking on other shit that you know can also override those thoughts. Like if you know you should be scheduling a doctor's appointment but you can't do it right now, write it in your notes, but also write in that to-do list, because by the time you see it there, you'll also see the other things that you were holding off on, and you'll be like, oh well, I should also clear this out and this out and this out, and it starts building a cycle of things. And depending on how you go about it, you could formulate multiple different to-do lists and get into a lot of other things at that point, but that's all up to you. I just want you to keep in mind the idea that there's a certain degree of comfort we should have, for sure. It's not to say you should live in an uncomfortable life 24/7, but when you have the ability and the full capability to override your brain to allow you to succeed in things that not only did you not think you could do, you couldn't even imagine, and then you'd be able to present that information or that action, that dialogue, to someone else, and then they'd be able to benefit in a way that they never thought would even be able to be possible through your experience, all through the simple action of doing what you know you should be doing. And it's not even like it's difficult. 9 times out of 10, the thing you know you should be doing is something you literally know how to do. You know how to do it. You can do it. It's just sometimes that voice you allow to get in the way will fucking build a house in front of the path, and you have to deconstruct it yourself. So with that being said, I just want you to start being more willing to get your ass up, do what you know you should be doing. Respectfully though, respectfully. But that's all I really had to say for today's video. Hopefully that made sense. My geekers, my tweakers, and my goons. If it did, leave me a comment. Love you all. I will see you Monday. And I'll do a special video for Monday to reboot how I've been doing these. So have a good one.